Hello, and welcome to episode 13 of Whalther, or Dick Moby. This is my unreading of the great American novel of 1851, Herman Melville's Moby Dick. It is the worst book I've ever read. It's the only book that I would like to unread, so I'm doing so. I'm unreading it, word for word, from end to start, from now till the end of time. So far, I have covered 35 chapters and an epilogue. We are getting along well. We finished chapter 100 last time. This is episode 13. Unlucky for some, unlucky for you if you're watching this. Certainly unlucky for me because I have to read this nonsense. I'm going to crack right on with it because I see no reason to waste time. Before I do so, that link down there, it isn't a link, it's just the words, but it says nvm.org, I'm going to say. I think it's org. Give money to them, National Video Game Museum. They're ace. I don't need money. This has no artistic nor commercial value. Don't give me any money. Give them money. If you think this is worth anything, give it to them. Let's get right on with it. I think everybody knows what we're doing. And this appears to be unreadable, so I'm going to try and unread it. Done ho cake your get and Jenny, hey, 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 Jenny, us cook and cook ho, cook. Unpleasant. Blackberrying worlds, the mungo's god, hish, hish. Soon ye hoard miserable, hoard miserable green the. Gold, precious, precious the gold the bark shaggy the for oysters bedded with. It in lodge doubloon a find and mast old this up fish to come. They when resurrection the in say they'll and so and. There get it did how? Ring wedding darkies old sum. It in overgrown ring silver a found and once tree pine a down cut. County Tolland old in father my. Tree pine is this. Ye nail heel, whale white the Ahab old, ha ha. Desperate grow things that sign at its mast the to nailed oughts when for too ugly is that. Here stays it if then again then consequence the what's and navel your unscrew but. It unscrewed to fire on all. I went in too fast. I went in all enthusiastic because I saw all this hoe cake and Jenny. I thought it was going to be real funny. It's just made me sad. Unscrew, but it unscrew to fire on all are they, and here doubloon this naval ships the heres. Yeah, see, sometimes where you look for the humour in this. It doesn't deliver. That was just a load of nonsense. That would be equally funny forwards, no doubt. Would it? I'm going to give Herman the benefit of the doubt there. But I think that's intended to be funny, this paragraph. So it wasn't. It wasn't funny backwards at all. I hoped it would be. None of this is funny. I get that, but I find it funny. I don't expect you to find it funny, but I find it funny. Muttering him Levi, so sanity my for crazy witty, to he's but wits plain have they for rest the stand can I vicinity pips quit I'll present the four way any myself hang go could I lad poor complimentary me means he if wonder jacket old Anne of Sleeves the inn didn't she marry Henry VIII? Anne of Sleeves. I don't know, did she? I might be historically inaccurate there. That as a pun, that might only work if I knew my history, which I don't. Anne of Sleeves. There you go. Anne of Cleves that was what I was going for. Did she marry everything? I don't know. I only go back as far as 1851. Old history, no idea. Old Anne of Sleeves. The interposed and trousers old of pair are into stuck bones too. Stands he there, scarecrow the ware's hand, crow I ain't, caw, 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 caw. Tree find this. I should take this seriously. Here tree pine this, of atop stand I when especially, crow at I'm and bats all are. Yes, you all are bats. They and we, ye, we and, he and, you, I and. Funny that's, well, well. Oh, I love it. Look they, look ye, look we, looks he, look you, look Oh, Herman's doing it on purpose this time. I knew this was going to be a funny episode. I just knew it. He's been winding up. Given that the last episode began with a table of statistics of how much beef and cheese they had on board, you know, it was a bit dry last time. I'm quite enjoying this this lighter outlook on life that we're seeing from the crew. Again, hist, heart by it getting he's why. Look they, look ye, look we, look see, look you, look I. Yeah, it's not as funny the second time. That's like my kids, right? When my kids do a funny, they get a laugh. You know, me and mummy are, you know, ha, it's a good joke, well done. And then Toby, my eldest in particular, goes, was that funny? Did I do a joke? And you go, yeah, it was good. Well done, you did a joke. And then he just does it again. He does the same joke again, like straight away. Doesn't even give it a day. He just does it again. And he doesn't get half my references. I tried to do the... I kept asking him if he picks his feet in Poughkeepsie, like out of the French Connection, with Popeye Doyle, which obviously he hasn't seen. Toby hasn't seen the French Connection, which is only right. He's young. He's in infant school, so he probably shouldn't watch the French Connection, really. He didn't get the reference from it as a result. But I did persist with doing the reference over and over again for no reason, only to entertain myself. And then I forgot about it. It became unfunny even to me, and so I forgot about it. And then a month later, he asked me if I picked my feet in Poughkeepsie. I was very proud of him. Anyway, where was I? Funny that's well. Look, oh yes, we went through all the looks. Hey, stop looking at me. Hist now, says he that what's but... Fellow poor, mind his improving. Grammar Murray's studying been he's, sol my upon. Look they, look ye, look we, looks he, look you, look I. Hark! Him here and again sway stand. Face idiot unearthly that with. Read to comes he. Now look and, included myself, interpreters these of all watching been has to he. Me to horrible half he's, I or, died had he would. Boy poor Pip comes way this. More and more, ho. It upon depend, that's very unpleasant language. That's not called for, even in the 19th century. I know times were different then, but you can't call Pip a hoe. That's terrible. It upon depend, worship a fire. Coin that on sun at is there, himself bows and sign the to sign and makes only his of look that with, say he does what? Usual as pumps his of toes that in oakum, usual as sight of outcoiled tail. Fidella, ghost devil that comes here. Again beside but, aside but even, again aside but. Trousers king's some off button old and for it takes he, doubloon that of make to what no don't he. No. Archer the oar, Sagittarius it's guess I. Thigh his of vicinity that in there something found he's, Jove by and. Country back that in astronomy surgeons talk women old that as suppose I, bowels that in or, calf that in or, thigh that in is son that thinks. Bone thigh his at looking, notes comparing he's live I as. Cannibal that says what? Himself zodiac that of signs, is he the zodiac killer? Himself zodiac that of signs the like looks, tattooing all. Queequeg comes here. Again dodge. See you, world of kind one in men of sorts all. Text one still but, now rendering another theirs. Thee of think to shake's head old my. Ship old, ship. Sorry, I was just putting the Twitch chat on there in case anyone was wanting to contact me, if you want to contact me, I am contactable on Twitch. I don't know exactly where. If you're watching this live, you already know. If you're not, then there's no point. So, maybe next time. Thee of think to shake's head old old ship, lion devouring and roaring the sign horseshoe that is lion the sign horseshoe the what's and gold the opposite right. Is it therefore sign horseshoe the be then sun the will sign what in now Copenhagen in which old the by ago years scored to me taught were they marks there no and signs studied I've signs these of one sum in stand sun the when day a and month a in be must it raised be whale white the if. Crikey. Listen and ears prick. Coffee mill worn out, old like voice, muttering he's. Hark, mean that does what? Again back he's now and. Side that on nailed horseshoe are theirs. Why, master of side other the on round goes and. Halloa! Doubloon the before up luffs he. See the two took he before. Is that? Been have must he. Hearse driver old the. Manxman old hour comes here. Avast but it to look wise-ish of sort at it has then foolish really be it if yet it to look foolish has it wise really be it if now foolish or wise that call I shall. I get the feeling that the humour's gone now. It's gone a bit dry again. I think probably that little burst of humour. Herman Melville's writing is very much. I think I get what he likes to do, if I remember rightly from reading this forwards, is he likes to explain 2 or maybe even 3 times, explain what he's about to write, and then he writes it as if to fulfill go through the process of writing it. If he could get away with simply explaining that he can write, then he would. He wouldn't have to write at all. These days you could do that, but back then, I think readers expected the writer to be explicit about the fact that they could write. But Herman liked to. He liked to bring you in. He liked to, involve you in the creative process almost. So we would write one chapter, for example, about how ships are supposed to meet out at sea and swap mail, discuss matters, whaling, nautical issues. Then he would write a chapter explaining a historical account of when 2 ships did meet in the past. 2 ships you have previously not been acquainted with, 2 random ships chosen from the annals of Lloyd's of London, presumably. He'd just look up, these 2 ships existed. What would happen if they met? Or maybe it was even true. Maybe it was a true story that these two ships did meet. They would meet without consequence to the story because they had nothing to do with the story. This happened years before the story. It was a historical account of 2 ships meeting. But by way of illustration, this was him elucidating, based on the previous chapter when he explained what should happen. He then writes a chapter about what did happen another time. And then only in the third of that sort of triptych of chapters, if you like, would he actually write an account of what happens to the Pequod when the Pequod meets another ship. Which would turn out to be entirely disappointing. And by that time, you're utterly bored of ships meeting on the sea. I'd probably pick up what was going on. If he just wrote the ship meeting another ship, I could fill in the blanks. As an intelligent reader, okay, maybe not given the evidence of this episode, but I like to think that from context I could work out what happens. And if he wants to refer to an event of the past, a bit of backstory, then that's fine. But don't feel like you have to explain historical precedent before every action taken by the crew. That's only what I remember of the book, anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. But anyway, I think in reading this backwards, what we've done is we've gone through that little section of humour that he included, which was great. I enjoyed it. That Jenny ha ha he he, all that business. Look I, look there, look this, look that, look out. Great material there. But now I think we've reached the point now where he's perhaps explaining the crew are now discussing an event that happened previously, or maybe because we're reading it backwards, then it actually happened in the future. From here, they're foretelling what would happen another time when someone wanted to be funny. And then following this, we will probably get a chapter-long treatise on comedy, explaining, the origins of mirth itself. So let's find out. Let's continue. That's just my feeling of what's happening here. What I like to do is I like to waste as much time as I can because I enjoy doing this. So I like rambling and not actually reading any of it. The last thing I want to do is actually read this or unread it. I only do it for you and your mental state. I like to think I'm providing a service, a public service for you lot out there to keep yourselves going through these difficult times. I gain no satisfaction from doing this whatsoever. None. Out spy to a loft flask goes here so. Them of 60 and 109 here's and. Cigars like I but, stub like pipes dirty smoke won't I. Cigars 60 and 109 that's. Oh, what a wonderful singing voice you must have. Cigar the cents 2 at and. True that's. $16 worth is it? About been staring this all what so? Him to belongs thing round this, whale certain a raises whoever and. Gold have made thing round a but. Here nothing see I. Beginning he's so. Presently something without heel. It before he's there. Say to have heel what here let's and. Now try works the round dodge. King post little comes here. Yes. The king post little comes here. Stop but. Doubloon adieu. I for word the jollies oh. Stub jolly does here allow. Allow? Here allow. Maybe. I don't know. There's something else Herman does. I don't know if these are words that were appropriate to be used in the 19th century or if he just makes them up as he goes. I have the feeling it's the latter sometimes. Here alow, so and. Trouble and toil through wheels, there aloft he jollily. Hearty and alive, all it about comes yet and. Year every it through goes sun that and. Heaven high in writ, now sermon are theirs. Sleep we, fishes that oar, Pisces with upwind to and. Us drowns and deluge whole his outpours. Water beareth it o'er, Aquarius when. Are we going to go through the whole zodiac? Tossed are we headlong and rushing comes he. Tilt full, goat the o'er Capricornus. Goat the o'er Capricornus, battering ram the hears. Aside stand, shafts the out, pluck we as. Himself amusing is, archer the o'er Sagittarius. Round all arrows the come wang. You see, I should have trusted him. I knew what he'd do. I knew what he would do there is he would lull me into that false sense of security of thinking we're just going to go through the whole zodiac backwards. We're going to describe each star sign in turn for no apparent reason. And then what does he do? He throws in the word wang for apparently no reason at all. Just wang. There you go. Good. Archer the or Sagittarius. Round all arrows the come wang when. Wound the curing are we. Rear the in us stings scorpion the or. Scorpio as jump suddenly. Where can we? What is it? Virgo next. Jump suddenly we how. Lord that about sad very are we while and. Wanting found and weighed happiness. Scales that or. Oh, Libra. I forgot Libra. Scales that or. Libra comes pop when. I for happy be to think and marry we. Right, let's be careful around Virgo the Virgin, shall we, Herman? I know these are the olden days. maybe this won't be quite as sensitive as modern astrologers would like. Love first hour, that's Virgin the Virgo hail and escape we. Pour his with dabs surly and bites fierce few. Yeah, leave her alone. Bites fierce few gives he. Path that in lies lion roaring Leo. I see. Leo, virtue from going here and Bacchus drags and crab the cancer comes. Lo when virtue reach to try we. Vice and virtue is that twins that o'er Gemini then. Thing first that us bumps he, bull that o'er Taurus. Then us begets he, dog lecherous, ram that o'er Aries. There's begin too. Almanac, come. Almanac, that's not one. After Aries, it's, what is it, Pisces? I don't know. Is that where we started? Have we been all the way round? Is that the thing? Right. Almanac, come. Book that of out straight, off it read I'll now and chapter round 1 in man of life that is here zodiac your doubloon you look. It have I Jove by. Hark, hist, bit await. Somewhere clue are theirs, wonders insignificant and not insignificant, wonders in significant and signs in wonderful. Nothing is there if pity. Wonders and signs. Go arithmetic doubles and navigator Bowditches and calendar Massachusetts that as far so experience small my that's. Thoughts the supply to income we but. Facts and words bear that us give to do Yule. Places your no must books you is fact there lie you. Book. Ring in all sitting rooms 12 of 2 between threshold the crossing just he's coin that on here I am among wheels he's son the well twins that or himself Gemini. Don't start again. Gemini here's Jiminy. Oh, it's a pun. Right. Gemini himself Gemini here's Jiminy and bull that or Taurus ram that or Aries alive all go they here. Are they here? Hem, hem, hem. Among always he's son the and wonders and signs. Now see let's book the here's calendar Massachusetts the with here what? Here curvicues queer. These of out meaning are raising at hand my tri-isle. Arithmetic doubles with raised be can devils herd have I as and almanac the get isle. Ditto calls below almanac my what and zodiac the calls epitome his in Bowditch old what is now that. Truly wonders and signs here's. Halloa! Once it read me let. Golconda by. Wonderful killing. So is that equator. The of the balloon this in be there should we then what? Joe, this is nonsense. Joe's quarter and Joe's half and Joe's and pistols and moi doors. Gold of plenty with Popayan of doubloons your, Bolivia of doubloons your, Chile of doubloons your, Peru of doubloons your, Spain old of doubloons your. Voyagings my now before doubloons seen have I. Queer as this regard I, opinion insignificant, pour my in. Humph. Now you feel. It's spending ere long very it at look not eyed, hook collairs in or hill negro on now it have I did which gold of peace at looking from all and long fathoms 9 within somewhere be might say should I which faces with both and same the from Starbuck goes there and it twigging been he's Triworks the by Stubb soliloquized mogul old the now's there. Whew, crikey. Right, well, that's our astronomy done for the day. Let's, I'm just going to have a little zip of ghost's blood. Falsely me shake truth, lest it quit will I. Me to sadly still, but truly mildly wisely. I thought it was truly madly deeply, not truly mildly wisely. Speaks coin this. Vain in him forgaze we, Him from solace sweet some snatch, fain would we. Oh, it's an unpleasant way to refer to it. He's being a bit unpleasant. I tell you what, I get the impression of this is he's a bit more like a sort of Roy Chubby Brown as a comic, isn't he? He's no Stuart Lee. He's no sophisticated, eloquent, storyteller. He goes straight in for snatch. I noticed a couple of these as well. These are very unpleasant. I'm not happy with that. As I've said before, I am reading the words as written. I'm not going to try and edit as I go, largely because without any context, it's hard for me to edit it as I go anyway. But at the same time, the words without context are. I can't. I don't know. Hopefully, by removing context from those things and ridiculing them somewhat, they sort of they're shown in today's light as being ridiculous and awful compared to the light of the mid 19th century, when to Herman, I'm sure they seemed perfectly acceptable. Which they're not. Obviously, snatch, I'm joking about. That's not a real insult or reference to what you think it is. But then maybe Negro Hill isn't either. Maybe that's just a place that was a genuinely named place. At the time, it was an unpleasantly named place at the time. But this is the point. This is the point. There is no context to these things. So let's just glide past them and ridicule them as we go, without obviously agreeing with them at all. Snatch fain would we, midnight if and fixture know is sun great thee yet cheer to way half glance our meet sun bright there them lift we if but soil mouldy her shows veil dark there eyes our down bend if hope and beacon shines still righteousness of sun there gloom our all over and round us girds God death of veil this in so symbol earthly faint some in Trinity the seem almost that peaks heaven abiding mighty three between valley dark read me let below goes he inspectingly coin the marked never have I writing awful Belshazzar's read to seems man old there. Who cares if it's read or read? Why am I worried about that? Bullocks thee against leaning himself to Starbuck murmured yesterday since their mouldings their left have must claws devils but gold the pressed have can fingers fairy know. Then it be so, on work to woe for stuff stout hears. Then it be so, pangs in die and pains in live, should man that fit 'tis throws in born. Oh, that's very philosophical. Then it be so, storm to storm from, Aries, I'll leave it, Herman, Aries at equinox former, out of outwheeled he before month 6 but and, equinox the storms have signed that enters he, I see but, face ruddy, aware's sun coined this now methinks. Itself solve cannot it. Them solve to world the ask who those for gains small, pains great. Self mysterious own his back mirrors, but turn in man every and each too. Glass magicians are like, which globe rounder the of image the but is gold round this and. Ahab are all. Ahab is, too, that, foul victorious and, undaunted the, courageous the. Ahab is that, volcano the. Ahab is that, tower firm the. Lucifer, as proud as peaks 3. Here, look, things lofty and grand, other all and. Towers and mountain tops, in egotistical ever something theirs. Pausing now was, others by unobserved not, Ahab, coin equatorial this before. Libra at point equinoctial, the entering sun keystone the and, Kabbalistics usual there with marked all signs the, zodiac partition the of segment hours all over arching while. Cock crowing, a third the on. See, I even managed to read the word cock without laughing. So unfunny is this chapter. This has become that even the word cock cannot raise a smile from this particularly immature reader. A third the on, another on tower, flame a one from, submits Andes three of likeness, the saw you letters those by zoned. Autumn no knows that climb unwaning the inn, Andes that up midway hast been had it and it after named and equator great the beneath and world that of middle the implanted country are from came coin bright this so Quito Ecuador del Republica letters the border round it's on things these Quito's the capital of Ecuador, I believe, by the way. At one point I could list all of the capital countries, capital letters of all of the countries of the world. I really could. You know, test me. Andorra, A. Malta, M. Not just Europe either. Gabon, G. I could do all of them. Capital cities of all of the countries of the world. I could list them all. I could list them all for about 4 days, and then I started forgetting them, and I forgot them, practically all of them. But Quito is one that I do remember being the capital of Ecuador. And I can remember, I think La Paz was the capital of Bolivia. There you go, by way of proof. I could do it. It probably wouldn't take me that long to learn them all again, but I've got more important things to do with my life, like reading this shit backwards. Letters the border round it's on. Things these of example wealthy most are was Pequod that of doubloon the that chanced so it. I learned all the capital cities, by the way, as a way of improving my Pointless game in case we ever get chosen to go on the television and take part in Pointless. Because we do watch Pointless. We watch Pointless every day. You know Pointless, the popular game show, in which players have to choose an answer that is not only correct, but also obscure enough that other people don't know the answer to the same question. The idea being to score as few points as possible after 100. I think it's at 100 people are asked the same question. And a certain percentage of people know the answer to that question. It's easy to work out because out of the 100 people, if 34 say know the answer, then that's 34%. That's why they do 100, because the researchers can't do the maths so well. So they chose 100 people. If they asked 230 people, that would confuse them all. They'd have to get the calculators out. So instead they do 100 people, and then you have to answer the question. If you get it right, you would score 34 points if 34% of people know the answer. It's good. It's a good show. It's got Alexander Armstrong presents it, the singer. He presents it, and Richard Osman, the giant. He sits at a desk to make him not look quite so big. Otherwise, he's like a behemoth of a man. So he sits at a desk, and Alexander stands there and asks some questions of some members of the public. Members of the public, as far as I can see, the members of the public are expected to recite the rules of the game before every question, before they answer every question. As I have just recited them now, the idea is to not only know the answers, but also to choose the answer, to choose to give the answer of all the questions that you might know the answer to. There's multiple questions on offer at any given time, usually between 5 and 7. Sometimes they have a picture round where you have to identify one of maybe 16 people or something like that, minor celebrities. So the idea of the game is to, first of all, select the subset of questions to which you know the answer, and then from that subset attempt to determine, using your intuition for how clever you are in obscure matters, which of those questions would have been answered correctly by the lowest percentage of other people, having asked 100 people. And so prior to giving an answer, every member of the public on the show is first of all expected to give some indication of who they are and what they enjoy doing, which is usually something like they say I'm a huge fan of cinema. I love the cinema. They're all really bland. What do you like? Oh, I like football. I'm really into football. I quite like films and music. And you just think, well, you're the most generic human on the planet. Why are you on television? Why have these people been selected? Why haven't I been selected? I'm not generic at all. I don't even like football. I hate football. I think, it should be... I'm not saying they should ban football. They should maybe play football once every 4 years. Maybe like the Olympics, they should do a football as a thing like that. Maybe just the World Cup. Or maybe like in the run-up to the World Cup, they can have some club games to find out who's going to play in the World Cup from your country. And then the best people from your country go and play the World Cup. But it doesn't change significantly every year, does it? That's the thing. If who's a football team? Leeds. If Leeds United win the league, is it the league Premiership in May? I'm gonna say May, right? Do you really need to start playing again? Do you need to start playing again in like August? So have a break, have a year off. Nothing's gonna change. It's the same next year. It's just some people running about on a field. They did this last time. The fact that it's different every year says more about the randomness inherent in the system than it does about the quality of the players. Anyway, sorry, back to Pointless. So yes, Dave from says he's into football and really into cycling. He says, I love cycling. I always think, well, how much do you love cycling? If I was Alexander Armstrong, I'd say, how much? How much do you love cycling? And he'd say, well, I go like 3 times a week. I go, well, that's not really... A lot of people do that. You don't really love cycling if you go 3 times a week. If you really love cycling, you probably go every opportunity you can. If you're really passionate about cycling, then you should be out there on your bike every day, all day, every waking moment that you have spare. You should be out on your bike. And fair play, if somebody says, well, I am actually, I say I really love cycling, and I have the proof, because my entire body is a big triangle. My back muscles are ridiculous. My legs, I have legs like tree trunks. I never go to bed. I sleep on an exercise bike, and in the morning I get up and go out and cycle around the country lanes in a circle as fast as I can on my £50,000 racing bike. Then fair enough. If you can say that honestly on a daytime mainstream quiz show to an ex-comedian, then you love cycling. But anything less than that, I don't accept that you love cycling, nor do you love football, nor do you love films. Unless you've seen every film ever, you don't even like films. You have no interest in films. You're okay, you might have a minor interest in film. In the grand scheme of things, you have approximately no interest in films, unless you've seen every film at least twice and written about it on a blog. Alexander Armstrong says to them, what's your answer going to be? And they invariably say to Alexander Armstrong, well, I know several of the answers. I know 3 of them out of the remaining 6. But now I'm trying to determine which of these answers is the most obscure. To which, if I was Alexander Armstrong, I would say, that's the fucking game. That's what everybody has to do. Why do you feel the need to tell me that? I made it up. Well, I didn't make it up. Richard Osman made it up. And we're having an increasingly acrimonious legal battle over who owns the format, as you can see by their increasingly strained relationship on that show. I'll give it another month. Anyway, Quito is the capital of Ecuador. I learned them all because the rounds kept coming up where I'd say South American capitals containing more than one vowel. And I go, Quito. It's almost entirely vowels. Over half of it is vowels. And they say, yeah, but like 29 other people knew that. You should have gone for La Paz because that's only 16 people. And I say, well, I didn't know that. If I'd known that, I would have said it, wouldn't I? I'd have said, I know 2 South American capitals, and I'm trying to decide which one is more obscure. You could have told me that, Alexander. Quito, Ecuador, del Republica. Letters the boy. That's why we haven't been invited on Pointless. Because Richard Osman watches this. He loves it. He loves this to the extent that he's watched every episode several times and written about it on his blog. Letters the it board around it's on. Things these of example wealthy most are was Pequod that of doubloon that chanced so it. I'm not even going to get through one chapter today. Oh yes I am. There we go. I'm going to get through it. Let's crack on because I've got 20 minutes left and I'm doing terribly. Poetic Spanishly. That isn't. You can't. Is that an adjective? Proper adjective? I would say that describes licorice more than poetry. Poetic Spanishly so. Mince, well, maybe mince, but I would say probably licorice. Mince fancy those through passing by. Glories enhancing and preciousness added and derived to almost seems gold precious, that so. Stamped profusion luxuriant in are waving banners rich and horns of plenty, ecliptics, stars and discs, suns, volcanoes and alpacas. Dangerous palms here. Token pieces tropic, the sun that of medals as are America south of coins gold and noble those now. It spend to live ever would he whether and last at be to was it whose wondering excuse me whose wondering night by watch weary that in over it talk they sometimes talisman whales white that as it revered mariners the all and one ways sailor there in wanton where however and end or striking one to sanctified and apart set was it for last it left sunset the where doubloon the found sunrise every nevertheless approach pilfering any cover might which darkness thick with shrouded nights live long the through and hands ruthless by past hour every and crew ruthless at amongst placed though nor glow Quito it's preserved still it. I'm assuming it's pronounced Quito and not Quito. I don't speak the lingo, so I don't know. That was very Spanishly poetic. Quito it's preserved still it. Foulness any too immaculate and untouchable, yet spikes copper of verdigris that and bolts iron of rustiness that all amidst nailed now though and flows pactolus many of headwaters that and I'll just put an and in there for no reason. I'll just make them up as I go. Headwaters there. Sands golden over west and east, whence hills gorgeous of heart, the of out somewhere raked gold virgin, purest of was doubloon this now. Way milky that in morass some up fill to, Boston about hills do they as, cartload the by sell to accept, cipher empty and but itself world round the and, worth little are things all else, things all in lurk's significance certain some and. Them in lurk might significance whatever way monomaniac some in himself for interpret to beginning time first, the for now though as, it on stamped inscriptions and figures strange, the by attracted newly to be seemed he, doubloon the past turning, morning one but. Hopefulness not if, longing wild certain are with dashed only, firmness nailed of aspect some the war still he, there coin gold riveted the upon fastened glance riveted same the as, then mainmast the before paused again he walk his resuming when and, purpose his of intensity pointed the with javelin, alike shot glance that, compass that in needle pointed the on fastened glance his with, binnacle the before halted he when. Him before object particular the eyeing strangely there stand and spot each at turn in pause to want was he, mood his in plunged most when, walks these in sometimes that how added be not has it narration requiring things other of multiplicity that in but. Mainmast and binnacle the limit either at turns regular taking, quarterdeck his pace to want was Ahab how related been has it now air. Doubloon the 99 chapter. Woo! Done. But no sperms today. No sperms at all. That whole chapter, no sperms. Excuse me, picking my ear on stream. That's disgusting. I had a scratch right in there, deep inside. Oh, it's right in the old ear there, getting right in. Oh. I nearly touched Saint. Sorry, I got confused. I saw something else, and I got confused. I was going to say Carlos Santana, but that's an in joke you don't need to know about. Between me and my kids. Yes, I know. The 4 and 6 year old children I mentioned earlier on, who don't really get the references to the French Connection that I frequently make, probably aren't going to get references to Carlos Santana either. But they like it. It makes them laugh. I guess maybe they figure he is a saint, Saint Carlos of Santana, and when I refer to the inner ear in that way, his door into your brain, maybe that's. I shudder to think what people think of them in school when they come out with these things. I wonder if Toby ever asked his teacher whether she picks her feet in Poughkeepsie. Oh, I hope so. Am I going to read this? Am I going to carry on? Please be short. Please be short. Please be short. Please be short. It's quite short. Do we reckon we can do this in 14 minutes if I really, really hammer into it? It's got some long words in it. I like chapters with long words. I'm going to go for it. Maybe we'll overrun, but that's fine. That's fine. 2 chapters is it'd be good to get 2 chapters in, let's face it. Here we go. Rope a splice to how, boy simple green thee taught am I as foolish and voyage last coast Peruvian thee along thee with sailed I, mild so, wise so, good so, die did ago years 1,002, Greece bright that in that Pythagoras, oh, metempsychosis again routine old life's young through go and world other some fight to sail we away and upspouted is ghost the blows she there when done this is hardly soul that of in tabernacles sorry I put an in there souls that of tabernacles clean in here live to learn and defilements it's from ourselves cleansed patience weary with then and sperm. Oh yeah, now you hit me with the sperm. I did clean the sperm buffer so we can draw some sperm. I'm going to draw it straight away and then I can crack on. Here we go. There he is. There's the sperm. Hopefully we won't get derailed by too many sperm. It's your job to keep count if we do. Let's just carry on. Where were we? Defilements of sperm. Defilements is from ourselves. Where's the word sperm? I've lost it. Let's just go from here. Patience weary. It's with. Yes. Okay. Cleanse. Patience weary with then and. Oh yes. Here's the sperm. I'd lost the sperm. Oh, speaking of that sort of thing. My kid this morning got up before everybody else, went up to have his breakfast, realised that he had a bit of an accident. This is the youngest, right? It very rarely has an accident these days. He had a bit of poo in his pants, right? And managed to somehow take it out with his hand, a little tiny nugget of poo, and then lose it on the kitchen floor. And we haven't found it. There's somewhere in the kitchen. We've looked. Don't look at me like that. We've searched for this piece of poo. Obviously, we cleaned him up immediately. He's fine. He's been all right all day. But now I'm concerned that there's a piece of poo somewhere loose in the house and we don't know where it is. I hope it'll just dry before anybody stands in it, but it could be anywhere. I mean, it wasn't. You'd think it'd just be somewhere around where he sits in the kitchen, where he has his multi-wheats and a little bit of chocolate granola on top to just give him a taste. But where's it gone? Where's it gone? I mean, he says he picked it out with his fingers, so he's obviously seen it. He didn't imagine it. He's not making it up. And he's, like I say, it's the first time I've known him have an accident for ages, for like a year and a half or something. He's normally clean as a whistle. on inspection. Anyway, sperm valuable but small, its bulk vast, worlds this from extracted toilings, long by mortals we have hardly for. Life is this yet. He's going to thank me for telling you about that when he's older and watches this back and, you know, proudly watches his dad doing this on the internet. 10 minutes left, come on. Man killing is this, but it is killing me. Friends my, oh, again thing weary hole the through go and whale another fight to fly they away and blows she there of cry the by startled are frocks clean there of necks the buttoning just fellows pour the time there is many it of room dairy spotless make and ship the cleanse to themselves bestirred finally have they this all of heel the on when triworks equatorial the and sun equatorial the of fires combined the by a new burned and smoked be to sweatings very there in and yea slash and cut and windlass heavy the heave and chains vast carry to deck the to step only they line the on rowing day all with wrists there swelled have they wear boat the from when hours 96 for through straight continuing night no which labours uninterrupted severest the after when time that is many and yes somewhere grease spot small one least at drop and furniture oaken old the soil again will infallibly caught if which whales more outspying on intent men three stand heads mast three the at there aloft mark but that's really confusing because normally he hyphenates three mastheads so to see them unhyphenated separate mastheads there baffling inconsistent napkins us bring and away to elude distantly you thing the not know they audacity of short little were blubber and bone and oil of mariners musked such to hint to forecastle the of piazza that on moonlight by taking to not object top the two hanging having of think deck the mat to propose cambrics fine and carpets sofas parlours of discourse humorously and threes and twos in planks the pace they step elated with now Holland daintiest the out from new leaped bridegrooms as a glow all and fresh deck immaculate the to issue finally and toe to top from themselves shift ablutions own there to proceed themselves crew the then concluded last at is duty conscientious this of whole the company ships entire the almost of industry simultaneous and combined the by when and nooks unseen in coiled our tackles all sight of out is cask every pots the hiding completely triworks the upon placed and scrubbed is hatch great the away put and cleansed faithfully likewise our use in bean have which implements numerous the all rigging lower the from brushed is soot the tidiness full there to them restore rags of and water of buckets with and bullocks the along diligently go hands it exterminates quickly lie that side the two clinging remains whale that of back the from adhesiveness any whenever and made readily is lie potent a whale that of scraps burned the of ashes the from besides oil of a fair and call they what after just as white so look never decks the why reason that is this virtue cleansing singularly possesses oil sperm one sperm unmanufactured the commander neat scrupulously most are with vessel merchant silent some trod you swear but all would you try works and boats telltale the for not it were and ship selfsame this in ears your prick and you about look you after two or but day a but we're gonna make it yeah we'll make it deafening is din the hands all on while himself Leviathan great seems ship entire the unctuousness with suffused about go mariners the bullocks the all besooted was triworks the from smoke the yard brewery in as about lie casks rusty great piled profanely are head whales that of masses enormous quarterdeck sacred that on oil and blood of freshets with stream planks the day one Wailing of business, that all in incidents remarkable, most that of one perhaps is this, fishery sperm the inn. 2. Up-walled closet alike, closed hermetically, and replaced our hatches the done this. See the in rest final there to casks the go down, and open thrown our ship that of bowels there. Without open the bowels. Unsealed our hatchways great the then. Cool is all, and cast is pint last the when length at. Cooper is sailor every, officio ex. Now for them upon play can as hammers many as go. Rap, rap, hoops the round all, and course there in stayed and manhandled last at till. Slides land many so like. Deck slippery that across scoot perilously sometimes, and end for end overheaded and round slewed are casks enormous the sea midnight the in that and way this rolling and pitching is ship there perhaps while and casks 6 barrel that inter received is punch hot like oil the warm still while blow and rise to nevermore alas. But before as surface the beneath along sliding, profundities native his to returns Leviathan again once where. Hold the into down them striking and casks the into oil his off decanting of proceeding romantic the may I if singing, rehearsing by description the of part this of chapter last the conclude to remains it now but. Fire the through unscathed past bone and oil spermaceti, that counts, 3 spermaceti counts. Spermaceti his Abednego and Meshach Shadrach like and pots the is that a Shakespeare reference perhaps? Shadrach, is he from Shakespeare? Is he the pound of flesh guy? I think possibly. Were we on 3 or 4 sperms? 4 sperms. No, 3 sperms. I've miscounted. We'll do a search for after we'll find them. Abdin, yes, and like pots the to condemned is he. Time due in, how executioner his of property the becomes cert out. Padded great his, killed was beheaded the which in garments the to old of headsman the entitled which principle the on. How and beheaded and alongside towed then is he how. Deep the of valleys the in slaughtered and moors watery the over chased is he how. Masthead the from descried off afar is Leviathan great the how related it been it has already. Up clearing and down stowing, 98 chapter. Woo! Another one done, and I think that was 3 sperm. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a, how do you find them? If I do Control F for sperm, if I look for sperm, it should highlight them. There's 1 sperm, sperm fishery, sperm oil, and then there was another sperm that I already drew further down. That's right. So there were 3 additional sperm for a total of 4. Excellent. Excellent. Why am I obsessed with sperm? Well, I'm obsessed with sperm because of the sperm count, which I've not talked about in this episode, appropriately enough because we didn't find any sperm till right at the end. Up there on the big board is the sperm count. There are 271 individual instances of the word sperm in Moby Dick. And I am counting all the sperm. And as I find sperm, I draw the sperm. And in so doing, maintain a sort of progress bar of sperm. However, I don't want to have to keep jumping up and down to draw them on the big board. So I draw them on the little board, the sperm buffer. And then at the end of the episode, I wipe the sperm buffer clean and I transfer the sperm onto the big board. So there are 4 sperm from this episode, which isn't great. It isn't fantastic. There are 271 to get. We've had 29, I think, prior to this episode. That's an additional 4, putting us at 33, which is, it's under 1 sperm a chapter. And there's only 100 chapters left. Well, 97 chapters left now. And we've got, what, 240 sperm left-ish. Woof! It is going to be a flood of sperm in these future episodes. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm excited to see all that sperm. Anyway, I think I'm done. It's 11 o'clock. That's enough. Isn't that enough? I think that's enough. I wouldn't want to carry on and spoil it for next time because, we want to leave enough to go at, don't we? So that I don't run out of things to read or unread for next time. So I think for now I'm going to leave it there. I think we've done enough. You've enjoyed yourself. I've yeah, all right. I've enjoyed myself. I'll enjoy myself more next time. But there will be a next time. I'll carry on. This isn't going to go away. I'm too deep into it now. I'm over a quarter of the way through the book. I'm into double figures. Progress has been astonishing. Today, just incredible unreading. I'm sure you can agree. If you do agree, then obviously do the thing that you're supposed to do on the internet. There's buttons all around the place. Down there, I think. No, down there. Is it? Where is it? There. If it's YouTube, I think it's down there. If it's Twitch live, then I don't know. It could be anywhere. But there's all buttons. Just click all of them. Click all the buttons. They all change colour. It's exciting. I love to see it. And leave comments if you want. I won't read them. I won't respond to them. But, you're welcome to type them in. The internet thrives on people like you typing things in. Idiots just typing things in all the time. I love football. Here is my blog about football. That's how people type on the internet. They have keyboards that are raised up a foot above the desk so that they can play them like a 3-manual pipe organ. See you next time.